Hey everybody, welcome to the June 15th episode of the Nat Daddy Weekly Roundup, where we go over a bunch of the reviews of the new books that come out this week. We got a big pile to go through this week, I think close to 20. Lots of indie books there. That's what we like. We like our indie books. So before we can start all that and jump into all that goodness, we got to thank some of the people that help make this show possible. So let's help get on the show with start with our sponsors here. We got 204 Comics. That's our local comic book store in Winnipeg that I like to use. Ashley and Bobby are great guys there. Do check them out. They do an online service. They have amazing pull service. So if you guys are the people that like to get your books in advance and not have to be chasing for all the latest issues when they do come out, use them, and they're great for that. Also, we got Primo's Wrestling out of Winnipeg. I love working with those guys. So much fun. Wrestling is awesome to see live. Hope you can see them at some point if you're in the Winnipeg area. And that being summertime and that they are traveling lots outside the Winnipeg area. And actually, this weekend on Saturday, we will be back in Ashern. We were there about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, and had a great time, maybe less even. And we're heading back out there again Saturday, June 17th, 7 p.m. So if you're in Ashern or around Ashern, Manitoba, do come check it out. And if you're not able to make it that way and you're still interested, you can watch it on here. I always stream them because I'm there. I like to take part of the show. And I stream it on Facebook here. And Primo's Wrestling itself does it on TikTok. So you can watch it live as there as well. And in case you missed the announcements earlier this week and that, Nat Daddy's here is now sponsoring Mustachio. So Mustachio is a pretty fun, entertaining character, wrestling as well. Check out his stuff there, the Wrestling with Mustachio's Whiskers page there. And also I've posted a few videos there as well. So do support those two guys, Primo's Wrestling and 204 Comics. And of course, you're watching the show, so hopefully you would like to sponsor us as well or support us. We have our exclusives out as well. We got our 5 different books there that we put out over the last couple of years. Can't believe it's been a couple of years already. Fun books. We always have them at the events when we go. If you are interested, you can always do that. Check out our website and also just reach out on the Facebook page or contact me and we'll make sure you get them because they are fun books. But enough with all that. Let's kind of jump right into the reviews of the week. Luckily, everything I was reading this week, I was able to get in physical form because I don't like reviewing stuff for you guys digitally. So there we go. First book of the week is Void Rivals, and this is from the Skybound Image imprint. I think a lot of people were kind of scrambling to get this book once they found out what it was. This book is actually turns out to be the introduction of what they're calling the Energon universe, and it's the Image taking up the properties of Transformers and G.I. Joe. So they kind of give a little bit of a intro of the Transformers showing up in this new world here. But even without that, it's kind of a neat story. You have these 2 alien races that are bitter enemies. These 2 pilots are dogfighting and crashing onto a planet, and they're stranded there. And they're still being bitter, hostile enemies, and even though they're trying to work together to get off, and they stumble across this Transformer. So neat start there. I'm very curious because I'm a fan of both G.I. Joe and Transformers. So unfortunate that IDW lost those properties. But now we'll see where Image goes with them. And it's Kirkman doing it, so that's kind of cool too. From Boom, we have a reprint or another copy version of Something's Killing the Children #1. Normally I wouldn't cover this because there's been lots of these. There's been trade paperbacks of this, and deluxe hardcover omnibuses, and collected formats and that. But this is a special kind, almost like a director's cut one. It's all done in pen and ink still. It's the original pen and inks, and it is all has commentary down at the bottom as well too, by the author, or by the artist, I should say, Werther Dell'Edera. So one of my favorite kind of creepy writers and artists. You got Tinian doing the writing. You got Dell'Edera doing the art and the commentary on here. So if anybody has never read Something's Killing the Children of Far, or is just a fan of it and wants to get a really cool kind of director's cut version, this would be right up your alley. It's cool. This is a neat series. I know it's being turned into, I think for Netflix or for Amazon, a streaming show of some sort. So pretty neat. Not for young kids. This is a horror-based book. It's about it works out to be like these not a cult per se, but these school or these clans of people that are out there as monster hunters, and only kids can see the monsters. And unfortunately, these monsters kill kids as well too. So pretty cool book. That was one of Tinian's first major books that came out. From Oni, we have Xeno, and this is a new book that's an anthology series type of thing. So there's a few different stories in here. I quite enjoyed it. You got some creepy stories in here. Some are a little bit more horror-based. You got some that are a little bit more sci-fi in that, and then some are just kind of suspenseful in that. So I enjoyed this. Oni's been putting out some good stuff lately. From Mad Cave Studios, we have You Been Cancelled. This is kind of a fun, satirical kind of look at life nowadays. What happens in the future here is if you've been, decided to be canceled, culturally wise, like if you've done something to offend the people or society or the media, not only you're ostracized on social media and all that, like you would be nowadays, but if it gets to a point where it's strong enough, people can, society will actually vote for you to be, canceled, kind of killed, and then they have people go out there to compete to get the job done, kind of like the Arnold Schwarzenegger Running Man type of thing. So the guy you see in the cover there is the number one kind of tracker in that. So he's always out looking for these people in that, and he's kind of just, all he does is, do this horrible job, and then when he's off the job, kind of drowns his shitty life and booze and women and drugs and that, and then on to the next job. So, but he himself is at the end of the story ends up being chosen to be canceled. So now it's everyone's after him, and he's the hunted. So neat book so far. Again, not for kids. Another one, definitely not for kids. We have issue 2 of Money Shot. It's Money Shot Comes Again. So this is the second volume of this series. And the only reason I wanted to show this one, and I did issue 1 from last month, is because they do kind of resurrect the Cherry Pop-Tart character that was around in the 70s and 80s, and that kind of like a XXX parody of an Archie character type of thing. So Money Shot is about these scientists that fund all their space exploration by doing like Pornhub type of stuff. They become like porn stars. So kind of a fun series, but again, definitely not for children and probably not for most adults either. This is very, very a raunchy book. All right. This one is probably appropriate for all ages is Marvel Voices Pride #1. This is a larger book, so a little bit more expensive. But it's a collection of stories with Marvel characters, all in the theme of Pride for Pride Month. So not a real huge book for significance-wise, but I wanted to show it to you because there is a few, or at least 2 new characters in here. One being a new kind of symbiote type of character. So for everybody who there is a collect their first appearances and whatnot. From Vault Comics, we have kind of says bursting from the pages of Barbaric. So kind of a spin-off from the Barbaric series. We have Queen of Swords. So we have 3 of the female characters that have shown up in the 3 volumes of the Barbaric series. This is kind of fun, but this is definitely not for kids at all. This is kind of very, very mature, raunchy adult fun. We got 3 women warriors there. One's a barbarian, and she has kind of like Owen the Barbarian in the Barbaric series. Instead of a talking axe, she has this kind of talking, blood-obsessed sword. We have a thief who is very, very much secretive in that. And then we have a witch lady as well too. So the witch lady is kind of cool. I liked her from the Barbaric series. She has tattoos on her that kind of are magical, and she uses weapons in that. So fun series. They're sent out on a quest in that, and it's your typical kind of crazy buddy guy, action adventure type. Lots of fun. From Dynamite, we have a new volume of Bettie Page starting up. These Bettie Page ones are nothing too crazy in that they're kind of fun if you enjoy like kind of cheesecakey type of humor in that. And this one is exactly that, except that this one here, Bettie Page has been swept off her feet to come and take part as the lead in this movie in Europe, very, very suddenly and almost suspiciously, and she finds out that, at least her assistant finds out when she's there, that the director has alternative means for her, almost seems to want to kill Betty in that. And we find out later on in the book that it seems like there's maybe an evil twin of Betty Page out there in that area causing problems. So. From Blood Moon Comics, we have Grit and Gears. Nice art and ink work inside here. Like you see in the cover there, a lot of these painted, kind of bright, pastel-y, watercolory types. Lots of fun in here. You have the main character on the cover there. His name is Ranger One. He's a robot type. He was developed to be like kind of like an android sheriff type of thing, and it turns out at some point that maybe some of the other versions of him in this series kind of turned against the humans in that, or maybe he was part of that too, and we're not sure yet. But he's been kind of has a lost history, and someone has shown up from his past trying to get him to, I guess, back together to work on a mission or help with somebody from the past and that. So lots of fun on this book here too. Kind of has a Wild West meets steampunk technology. So I quite enjoyed this one. All right. Another one from Scout Comics, we have the Omega Gang. Lots of cool color on this one too, as you can see in the cover there. Kind of a fun book. We have this group of kids that, much like a lot of kids in high school and that, they all kind of get together just because they're all so different. They kind of see themselves as outsiders in that, and they end up finding and coming across some eggs, some kind of these magic eggs in that. So they decide to take these eggs and kind of take care of them for a little while, and then all of a sudden, during a moment of danger, these eggs all kind of hatch and become like these Pokemon type characters and kind of bond with each one of the kids in that too. So it's kind of neat. I know that sounds kind of silly and lighthearted in that, but when this book starts off, it's kind of like the end of the world, and it seems like flashing back that somehow this all started that. So we'll see where this goes there. So because coming from Scout and knowing how the story is, it's not going to be some fun-hearted story. It's going to be something kind of crazy and monstrous and twisted, probably. So neat start though. Lots of cool color artwork. All right. From Opus Comics, and I've been talking about these guys lots lately. They have kind of I won't say focused on, but a lot of their books just kind of take place or are based on famous paintings or famous art and that. So in this, they've been doing a lot of Frank Frazetta stuff, so the fantasy artist and that. And this one is on the Mothman. So on his famous Mothman picture, they started to write a comic based on the Mothman picture and also the Mothman kind of urban legend that's been out there for years and that. So lots of fun here too. Turns out the Mothman here is actually alien that has crashed on the planet, and he's looking to try to get help. And every time people see it, and that they kind of just misinterpret it as this monster and that. So of course it would be in that. So it's actually kind of funny with seeing and the Mothman talking and that. So it's not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be kind of a straight up horror book, but it is a kind of a horror book that does have that sense of humor to it as well too. And I was surprised. I didn't know Andre Moody was doing the art in here. So that was a double bonus for me because I was looking forward to seeing this book because I am a kind of like a fan of urban legends and stuff, and the Mothman being one of it, and Andrew Moody doing watercolors on there. So one of my favorite artists. So pick that one up if you can. From DC, we have Batman Incorporated. This is issue number 9. This is actually a pretty good series that doesn't get talked about a whole lot. I know I don't cover a lot on this channel because I like kind of stick to new books and important books or major events in that. But this one I thought we should point out because it does have last issue and this issue both have some new characters in here. A lot of them being this time around is kind of what they call Joker Incorporated characters, where Joker's gone around and kind of made his team of worldwide Jokers, kind of like Batman has done with all the Batman characters. So we get the first appearance of a character in here called Charles Dogul, who's kind of an off-take of Charles de Gaulle. So kind of neat to see that there too. And it's a really good series. So if not even if you want it for specs of first appearances in that, but just to check it out and see if you want to catch up on the rest of them, because like I said, this is a well-written series. Batman Incorporated number 9, the first appearance of Charles de Gaulle. He's a Joker terrorist type of guy. From Marvel, we got number 1, Spider-Man India. Of course, everyone's going spider crazy right now with the Across the Spider-Verse movie out, which I hear is pretty amazing. I have yet to see it, but I hope to soon. So Spider-Man India is a pretty awesome book so far, I must say. Starts off with Spider-Man from India, or the Spider-Man India from his dimension is teaming up with Miles and Peter to fight this multi-headed Mysterio. It's kind of a neat looking thing. Then he goes back to his own dimension and starts having back to Spider-Man India adventures, and he ends up happening or taking part in the origin of, I guess, their version of the Lizard. So that's kind of neat to see that start there. Again, I'm not a huge fan of all the multiverses of tons of different Spider-Mans and stuff, but I have come around a little bit more, and the Spider-Man India character is kind of one of the ones I do enjoy a little bit. So if you are a fan of the Across the Spider-Verse stuff and all the different Spider-Mans, definitely check this one out. From what I guess most of us would call the regular, the classic Spider-Man, we got ASM Spider-Man 27, 921 from the original Legacy run. So you're getting pretty high up there. Expect a double-sized issue pretty soon, probably when they hit the 925, I would assume. Again, nothing blockbuster. I know a whole lot of people are not liking the run of this this current volume, but again, I wanted to point this one out here because it's not a new first appearance or anything, but Doc Ock does get his new tentacles in here. So Doc Ock actually gets rid of his old tentacles in here because they betrayed him before when they were they chose Spider-Man over him at one point, and so they've destroyed his old tentacles, and now he has these new ones with these different modern upgrades, and that I'm sure most people probably won't like because one part of them's kind of silly, but we'll see where it goes. But yeah, new Doc Ock tentacles in here. Couple more books here to look at, and then we can let you get on with your weekend. From Image, we have a new series here called Click Click Boom. This one, I must say, is pretty cool too. I noticed this week a lot of the books have just bright coloring in that, and this one is another one that has that too. Lots of bright pinks and blues and purples. It's about this girl. You can see her on the cover there. She's a young woman, probably in her late teens, maybe early 20s, and she's been training her whole life with her Doom prepper grandfather and that, and she's also a mute, so she kind of communicates and leaves clues and talks with people through Polaroid pictures and that. So she's also kind of intertwined or wrapped up in this mystery as well that this reporter lady has kind of stumbled into / been tracked down part of, and now it's all kind of falling together and getting a little crazy. So interesting, see where it goes from there. But again, really bright colors in here and a neat story. It's kind of, it makes me think of kind of like Kill Bill meets like a mute Pippi Longstocking with all of this, this murder and murder reporter going on in the background. So it's kind of neat. I bet you this will probably become a streaming movie or TV or service at some point. And final on our list from Top Cow, and again, that's a part of Dark Horse. It is, part of Image as well. It is Haunt You to the End. This one I did know was Andre Moody, so I was pretty pumped about that because, again, I love Andre Moody artwork in that. So you can see on the cover there, it's his watercolors in here. And this one's kind of neat. It's about this rich billionaire guy who hires all these different people to try to, I don't want to say they're kind of doing like this ghost busting thing in a haunted house, but they're there kind of trying to prove if there's anything past life or past death and that. So great kind of spooky story so far. Andre Moody always excels in doing art and spooky or supernatural stuff or kind of slasher stuff. So this is right up his alley. Definitely check this one out if you can. Yeah, that's it, everything for review wise this week. One sad note was I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, and that's probably what got me into comics as a kid was Spider-Man. And unfortunately, earlier yesterday we had John Romita Sr. pass away. So great, probably one of the best, if not one of the top few greatest comic book artists of all time, and definitely one of the greatest Spider-Man comic book artists of all time. So sad to hear that. Thoughts go out to his family as well. Other than that, everybody else have a great weekend. It's summertime. Hope you get lots of reading done. Otherwise, see you later.